Okay, we're going to install the new shark shield on Tom's new little rocket.
Yeah.
And if you really want this to last a long time on the board and therefore to be no issues in it coming off, absolutely give the bottom of board a really good clean. Give the corner, particularly where it comes around the rail, a really good clean. And as always, when you're putting a new tail pad on, you clean that area really well also. So cleaning this up is critical.
This is the one I'm going to be riding.
This is the one you're going to be...
go anywhere near.
This is the one you're going to be riding. See these? See these?
North Wall Ballina.
You're going to go out at North Wall Ballina?
Just go and hang out there 24/7. See what happens.
Okay, so we're going to install this on Tom's new rocket. Tom, the most critical placement is this bottom electrode.
The one in between the fins.
The one in between the fins.
Near the tail.
Correct. So what you want is you want this that's coming around the rail, this part of the antenna decal, to be just forward of that fin, half an inch, no more than an inch. If it's too far forward, what happens is that this tail pad component won't reach to where it needs to be. If you keep it slightly forward of the fin, no drama whatsoever. Then we're just going to run that down and then we're just going to pop that on the top.
Okay.
That's simple, super simple to do.
Sounds good.
So all we do is we'll take off the tape off the bottom electrode first. So you just peel the 3M tape off like so. We're going to make sure that once again that we're just forward there, so I'll line that up in the centre there. I'm going to bring that down into the centre using the stringer as a location, and then I'm just going to run my finger around the edges and make sure that that decal is beautifully smooth as a baby's bum.
There you go.
And flat. And that's it. Now all we do is we pull off the tape off the centerpiece. So we just get underneath that like so. Once again, lining it up using the stringer, and we just run your finger straight down there like that, and that's that baby down.
Beautiful.
You can see that, you know, the 3M's a great product, and really it's you know, it's never going to come off the board. Then all we're doing is we're going to take the electrode off the top. Once again, those of you that actually have fingernails, to get this 3M tape backing off. Once again, lining it up and then running your finger around the edges to make sure that you've got a beautiful smooth. The other important thing with this 3M tape, a lot of people don't realise this, and it's the same with the tail pads, that really it needs about 24 hours to cure.
That's a really good.
Yeah, you really want to let it cure. If you take this out in the water right now, you know, there is a risk that it hasn't cured correctly, and that the adhesive will come off. So absolutely strongly suggest 24 hours let it cure. So now we've basically got the antenna fitted beautifully on the bottom of the board, and as you can see, it truly is sticker thin. I mean, it's finally at that point where we want to be. Now the next critical point is coming around this rail. It's absolutely critical that we come around the rail as flat and as smoothly as we can. So we're going to pull this piece of tape off here. I think we've got a, there we go, look at that. And so you want to get that like as smooth and as straight as you can possibly get it, exactly like that.
Which is pretty easy because it's full of the antenna.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite stiff.
It is very stiff. And so now as you come around the rail, you want to follow the rail all the way around, nice and tight. And
really get it to the edge of...
If you've got a sharp edge there, then get it right to the edge, exactly right. There's no issues with creasing this tape, as you can see as we roll the board over. So now as we come over, you can see I can pull that as tight as I like, absolutely as tight as I like. And now we're really, really good fit around the rail. Really, really good fit around the rail. And now we're just about home, frankly. The important thing about putting this part down is do make sure you don't have a twist in it, because sometimes because you're rolling the board you might have a twist. Just make sure, exactly. So just make sure you've got no twists in it.
No twist.
Now the last part before you do that bit is to actually put this elbow down. So just do the elbow first.
Okay.
So I'll pull this off while you're hanging on to that bit. So just make sure the elbow's down nice and neat. Like so. And now we put the kicker part of the tail pad where you'd normally put the kicker part of the tail pad, noting that there is a mark at the front of that to help you line it up with the stringer. So place that where you'd like to normally have it. I guess most people are a fair way back. It's a different adhesive on that deck housing component to what's on the decal antenna. It's actually a stronger adhesive because that's where you're keeping all your electronics, is all housed in there as well. And once again, you know, give it 24 hours to cure. Okay, and so now the last part is we're just going to take the last piece of 3M off here, and you'll see what we'll do. What we'll do here is you just bring those two edges together and you create a fold wherever it happens to be on your board. And so in this particular case, a little bit different to the other board, my board we just did, because your board's different size, different length. We've ended up with this crease in the tape here, and now all that happens is we get the Ocean and Earth tail pad, and that goes over the top, and that's what hides that crease. We need to have the crease because we've got a tape that'll fit virtually any size board, you know, from sort of, you know, from 6 foot up to sort of 12, 14 foot kind of thing. So
you do a stand-up paddleboard?
We don't do a stand-up paddleboard just yet, and that's mainly because most of the stand-up paddleboards already come with a deck grip on it. So we're looking at how to do that, but soon. So we're now going to fit the centre part of the tail pad first. Now, in the example we're using here, you've got one whole piece. What people will find is when we start shipping the next volume of product after this, we're actually going to have 4 pieces, and we're going to fit this bit on here at the factory for you. Because what we've realised is that rolling down like that's a bit tricky. So when you get it, it'll probably already have that on it, and you'll put the other 3 pieces. But in this case, it's not that hard to put it on, but we just want to make it as easy as possible. So you just pull the 3M off like so. You line this up between the 2 bolts there, get it smack in the right spot, and then what you've got to do is you've got to come and roll down the face of that kicker and make sure you get it right in that edge, and then you're good to go. And there's another little bit of 3M on the Ocean and Earth Shark Shield logo that you've got to peel off separately. I think it's, oh, well done, Tom. And then we just stick these 2 on, and you can see that you know, that completely covers up where the decal is, and where the decal comes around here, you're just going to put wax and whatnot on that, and there'll be no drama. Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's it.
Got Got myself a shark shield.
Done.
You're not coming near me with that on. That's for sure. Okay. I'm going to put the unit in there.
Yeah. And so now it's really just a case of undoing these hex keys and sticking the electronics in. So let's go ahead and I'll let you do the honours. So the electronics just slots in like so. And you screw it down. It's important when you're screwing it down not to over tighten it. It's been designed so that you know it's difficult to over tighten.
Is it? It's going. So there's a green light going. She's telling us she's
yeah, so
she's on.
That's correct. So the green light flashes when you first start it up. The green light will flash. Firstly, you'll go through a startup sequence, which was the red LED. Then the green light will flash, and if you count the number of times it flashes after the red one turns off, it'll tell you how much battery's in there.
Right.
So if it flashes 9 times, 90%. Flashes 3 times, 30% battery life.
Okay.
So then what'll happen is it'll keep flashing until you go in the water. Now once you're in the water,
And then what?
it'll go solid green, which means it's on and the electrodes are working connected.
Right. So initially it goes for, say, full charge at 9 times. Is that it?
Correct.
And then it stays flashing after that, do you say?
Yeah, so when it's out of the water, it'll flash green to say, hey, I'm not connected.
Right.
And then once you're in the water, it'll be solid green when it's active.
Right.
When the battery gets down to about 20 minutes left, the red light will start flashing and it'll start beeping. The only time you'll hear it beeping is when it's not on and the batteries are low.
Right.
So now this is the same as how the Freedom 7 operates. It flashes green when it's out of the water.
Yep.
And then once it's in the water, it'll go solid green, meaning it's good to go.